need to just put us on.
Are we there? Are we there now?
Yeah.
Like, the heat has obviously wrecked the buttons because it wasn't working, but we are here now. Good afternoon. It is Wednesday, the 18th of June, otherwise known as New Fixtures Day. The new fixtures for, well, you know, for the 25-26 season have been unveiled. Everton will begin the Premier League season with a trip to Ellen Road. What a horrible game. On Monday night, Everton's first Monday night fixture since 2012. And Marouane Fellaini scored the winner against Manchester United. First home game at the new Hill Dickinson Stadium is Brighton and Hove Albion. The Premier League being very original, giving us Brighton at home again like we did last season. The first Merseyside derby, Saturday the 20th of September at Anfield. That'll obviously be moved either earlier or a different day. And Everton will finish the season with a trip to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I think that's correct, isn't it? Spurs away. Yeah, Spurs away, final day. Last home game will be Sunderland, who I thought might have been the opening home game. So I got that one wrong. But I was correct. We are away for the opening game because we have been at home for the last, I think it's 4 seasons on the run. I just wonder, and it doesn't make any difference, but I am going to wonder out loud why Liverpool start the season at home and finish it at home. When like we started it at home last season, but finished it away. Why? But hey ho. There you go. What have you made? I know we play everyone twice if you want to be ultra boring, but what have you made of Everton's start? You know, Leeds away, Brighton home, Wolves away, Villa home.
Don't particularly like the start. I hate playing promoted teams in the first game, and the fact that they put it on Monday night. Big spotlight on it and all that. I'm not into all that. It just feels like they're trying to set us up.
Of course, yeah. They love Leeds for some reason.
No, I just don't get it. They love teams who only have one team in the city.
And who've never done anything.
Yeah, who've never done anything, and they make it sound like they've done everything. It's weird.
It is weird.
Yeah, there's no. I don't think there's any like stretches. Is there in the season where we play like all of the
2 is the biggest run, like.
So I think that's a surprise that we play teams.
We all looked for a Black December.
So there's a weird like mix, isn't there? But I'm not surprised we're playing away playing at home. Second game, because I think it made sense to build a little buffer in, didn't it? Just in case.
Again,
just in case we need a little bit extra time.
And it puts to bed all the nonsense and all the. Well, my uncle was painting.
Yeah.
No
Boxing Day game.
Shop. Yeah, and I heard Everton have asked for the opening 6 games to be played. All that rubbish. That was rubbish. Is being put to bed. No Boxing Day.
No
games,
Boxing Day games.
No Boxing Day games at all, is there? Yeah.
DJ Dan, Leeds haven't won the Premier League.
No, never won it, mate.
They've never won the Premier League.
They won the very last.
You've jumped in there.
Gone in 2-footed.
You've jumped in 2-foot, and all I've done is I've just flicked it away, jumped over the tackle, looked back at you, called you a knobhead, and just ran on and scored.
I don't think you had to call them that, but
no, I'm just saying
it's an incorrect statement. Dan,
it's an incorrect statement.
They won the last ever First Division title back in '92.
Yeah. So, yeah. No, listen. It's not the greatest start, but so be it. It's all on us. I don't know what I don't like playing. The reason I don't like playing promoted teams first is because normally they've got their team, like their fittest team, available, and normally there's so much adrenaline around the place that it can lead to a result.
If you get ahead in the game, it kills.
But it can lead to a result that literally 6 weeks later you're not getting. You're not getting.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
That happens a lot of times.
Once everything's quieting down a little bit. And players start getting injured and suspended, and the full impact of being in the Premier League. But the first game's a bit like a cup final, isn't it? But listen, that's up to Everton, isn't it? It's up to Everton to have players in, to have a team ready to play and take those games on. We finished the season very strong when it comes to away games. So yeah. No, I haven't shot myself in the foot. You've just said they've won the Premier League and they haven't won the Premier League. So pipe down.
But they've won things.
Leeds have had like one decent decade in their whole time, and yet they won the league in the year before the Premier League. Doesn't make them doesn't make them a big club.
They've won in my lifetime 1 league. I think they won in 74, but I mean, what I'm aware of, right? So they've won 1 league in your lifetime. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. So they haven't done anything, really, have they? We haven't done anything.
And actually, we didn't actually just say anything. We just said 1 team in the city.
No, I said they haven't done anything.
So what are you having a go at me for, then?
They haven't done anything for years.
Right.
Was what I should have really said. But that's like saying we have Huddersfield at home going, they haven't done anything. Well, they have. And so Preston. And teams like that. But you would consider them doing nothing, wouldn't you? Huddersfield doing nothing.
Dan, and others out there, Leeds United aren't a massive club. They had a spell under Don Revie where they done all right for a decade, and then they won the league under Howard Wilkinson at the beginning of the 90s. Apart from that, they've done nothing. So,
Bob, you're right. They've won the league more recently. They won it 5 years more recently than us. And Everton have won an FA Cup far more recently than Leeds have done anything, and we've been rubbish. So and Everton is still
and it's a 1-team city, and it's a pretty big city.
Yeah,
so
it should be huge. They should be huge. They're well supported, like really well supported. And I don't know why we're getting into this, to be honest with you.
What it is it's because Dan and there's another fella, Bob, right? They just love to have a go at me every single day. Right, that's all it is.
All right, but
they're just sad people who like to have a go at me.
Just move away from that. What I'm saying is, let's get back to the fixtures. Leeds away is a tricky game because they are a promoted team.
Yeah.
And they're well supported. It'll be tough. Sunderland away would have been a tricky game. Who were a well supported team and have won stuff in their history.
Any of the promoted teams.
I know, but those two in particular, like Burnley away would have been.
But they're all. Everyone's up for it, aren't they? Everyone's up for it. It's a Monday night. The place will be bouncing. It makes it a tricky game, doesn't it? And I don't particularly like ever playing promoted. I'd rather we'd started with a Brighton or a Brentford or anyone else.
Yeah.
Personally,
but there you go. We've got to do it. Brighton at home is it's a tricky game because they're a good footballing team, but. Even last year, they beat us 3-0. Everton had so many opportunities in that opening half an hour where we nicked the ball off them and we just didn't have the quality. And that's why that's sort of why the recruitment will be massive.
Yeah.
If David Moyes can get and the recruitment team can get the players in we need, a fast winger, another striker, and all that, we did finish it really strongly. Don't worry about Brighton at home. Don't worry about Wolves away, even though that can be a tough place to go for Everton. We've won there once, haven't we, since they come up? But I don't look at that Wolves game and go, oh my God, Wolves. So you got to look at it and go, that's a chance for us there. And Villa, and I'm really being impressed with Villa under Emery. But I even look at like that game and go, I'm not bothered. Villa at home, be a full house, be a tricky game, but it'll be a tricky game for them. So
I never get too drawn into the fixtures because I always think you look at them sometimes and you don't
can't really call.
You can go into closer detail and start going, well, actually they've got a Champions League game that week, or they've got and suddenly the season unfolds in different ways.
I hold my hands up here. I thought Newcastle had turned us over last day. I thought Everton didn't have a chance, in my opinion, at Newcastle. Because I just thought, it's not whether we were good enough. I just thought our last home game very much felt like the final game of the season, and they needed to beat us at St James's Park to get in the Champions League. And yet Everton were excellent on the day. So, and I know that we had a slightly different view of Forest, but you thought Forest would be like a real tough one, and Everton were outstanding down there and won that one. So yeah, you're right. You look at fixtures sometimes and you go, tough that, and Everton might go to Leeds and win 3-0, or might go to Leeds and get beat. You just don't even know, do you? Yeah. The only one I look at with real trepidation is Anfield, because I think no matter what they do, we are in our own heads, and they're actually the champions, and have obviously got good players, so it becomes even more. Well, apparently, but becomes more difficult. But what I mean is, by the whole thing is, that's always a game, no matter what we do, that we do end up in our own heads with it, the team. And it always becomes a tough game, whether Liverpool are playing well or they're not, doesn't it? But even that game we did okay with, didn't we, last year? We were millimetres twice, weren't we? Millimetre offside.
It's
a millimetre off the
all
ball.
it is attitude, isn't it? How you approach games, how you feel about the game. Yeah. We'll be set up in a different way this year to go at teams and try and win there. We'll go to Leeds first game of the season and we'll try and win.
Yeah, and we'll see where we go, won't we? We'll see where we go. The other thing is, with 8 teams being in Europe this year, 8 teams have got other complications. I'm not saying they're not good enough to do it, and therefore that puts, I guess...
Well, you said the fixtures there. You start looking at, like, that puts onto their load, and of course... Because of the group stages and stuff, and those teams are guaranteed a certain amount of games. Number one, that puts a heavier load on teams that mightn't have the squads, but also teams who are playing in the. Have we only got one in the Europa and none in the conference this year? Is that right?
Nothing in the conference. Is it Forest? They were in the conference. Forest.
No, I wasn't sure whether we still had a conference.
Villa are in the Europa and United. Villa are in Europa and...
But Palace mightn't be in anything yet, might they? We haven't had confirmation yet, have we?
But that'll go to someone else, the place, if they... Palace will definitely be in it, I think. But we haven't had confirmation, you're right. But it'll go to someone else if they weren't, and it'd be whoever. It'd revert back to the...
So we'll have 2... So basically what I was just... We'll have 2 on a Thursday night.
We'll have 3.
3?
Yeah. 2 Europa and 1... 2 Europa and 1 conference on a Thursday and 5 on a Tuesday and Wednesday.
So that makes people playing on Sunday and all that, and that's complicating fixtures as well. So it makes it more interesting. Can teams cope? Can teams cope with the more games? And if you've had a quiet week and then they've played on Thursday, can they balance it? Teams can look good in the Premier League, and then they go into that Europa League, or they look good in the Europa League or whatever, and then they haven't got the legs for the Sunday and stuff. So
we saw that, didn't we? We saw it with Spurs and United last season, didn't we? I think the Man United win something like 3 games.
Man United were unbeaten till the final.
No, in the tournament, but didn't they win only like 3 games or something since January in the second half of the season?
Sounds right.
It was sad. It was mad. Liam says, Forest in the Conference League, Palace and Villa in the Europa League. Yeah.
So complicated.
It'd be a thingy, wouldn't it? Everton again, it'll open up, won't it? It'll open up because of that. Now you'll have to see whether or not we can sort of take advantage of it, of course. But I remember last season I felt it was a tricky start. People were saying now it's a great start, and it proved a very tricky start because we lost the opening 4. But I do feel a lot more confident this time. It's really difficult because you don't know what sort of team Everton will have as well. You don't know what Leeds will have and all of that. So it is always tricky. But arguably it could have been worse, couldn't it? We could have had like City away, Arsenal at home or something, Villa away, and then whoever. So it's not ideal, I guess, a promoted team, but a lot of people saying there in the comments, and they're absolutely correct, saying Leeds just aren't strong anyway, so they'll have to buy players and they'll be bedding people in and all that. So I think
it's more the occasion.
Well, that's why you've got to go and burst the bubble, haven't you? You've got to go and get that, as someone said, an early... Ben, sorry, there's 6 in the Champions League, isn't it? Because of Tottenham. Apologies, Ben, 6, So therefore, is that 9 in Europe then? It's 9 then, isn't it?
Christ.
It's 9. So there you go. There's a lot of...
You can look at that 2 ways, can't you? You can look at it like loads of teams got extra fixtures, blah, 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 and then, but you can think there's 9 teams in the Premier League bringing in excess money.
But 3 of them aren't bringing excess money in, are they? Unless they go far and win it. They're extra money. It's extra money, of course, but...
Yeah, it'd be tough.
Graham, an Irish team have been kicked out, but it's gone to someone else. It's gone to another Irish team. Oh, sorry, it's gone Shell. It's because they've been kicked out, Paul was saying, wasn't it? The other Irish team's been put into the next round, given a bye almost, so...
No, it would have to be a Premier League team,
It'd be another Premier League team. They've already said it would. If Palace went, it dropped, it'd revert to... But I think it's Bournemouth.
Brighton, innit?
Or is it Brighton? Sorry, Brighton. So...
And I think on the balance of things, Brighton deserve it more than Crystal Palace. It's just a nicer place.
Mind you, is it?
It's got a pier. Do you know what I mean? It's got a pier. I think anywhere with a pier deserves European football.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think so. Seagull over Eagle. Eagle takes that one though, doesn't he? You know, that's Seagulls are like street fighters. Eagles are like, they need a bit of space in the countryside and all that. Get them in the towns. I think the Seagulls take them, personally. So
there you go.
Who knows?
Daniel Burton says, surprised we're on Sky's first match of the season. Won't be for us though, will it, mate? It'll be for Leeds. Like, Leeds are back. They love Leeds, honestly. They love them. Which is fine, but they do. It is. I find it a bit odd, but that's what they'd be doing. I could like, if it was at the new stadium, then yeah, fair enough. But we'll see. We will see.
Danny, Wigan, Pier, yeah, there you go. And
yeah, Wigan maybe deserve a place in Europe.
They
did have a go, didn't
they? Won the FA Cup.
But they ended up having a go.
Which makes them bigger than
Everton. They had a go though, didn't they?
Clearly.
When they were, yeah, well, I mean, they've done things more recent than Everton and Leeds. Liam says, off topic, but what do you think of that if Everton and Roma ended up in the same European competition?
Well, if there was any chance of that, they'd have to get it. You can get it, as long as you get it sorted by, I think it was in March. If you change the, whatever it is, I'm sure they are well aware of that.
Carl says, okay, just says the reason we're away last game is because precious Liverpool after the last home game.
Well, you have to release a kit.
Yeah, true.
And it just makes more financial sense for everybody.
Yeah. Philip says Palace fans would be even more annoyed if Brighton took their play. I mean, that would be
a kick in the...
Imagine that. Did I say Burton, Daniel? Apologies. I said Daniel Barton. My apologies there. My apologies.
I'm not sure Southend deserve to be in Europe just because they've got the longest pier. Just don't think that's... We're not giving European places out teams with piers. What we're saying is who's more deserving between two teams. That's all it is. And I think having a pier is always in your favour. I think it is.
Okay.
Maybe build a pier onto the new stand that they're building the Palace. I don't know.
To just because you want them.
Urban regeneration.
You've created now a requirement for Europe.
Well, how many places in the country, inland, have piers other than Wigan? You know...
We don't have a pier, though.
Who?
Here.
Yeah, but we don't need a pier.
If we were to a pier in Europe, though, you'd want us to have a pier.
We'd get it on
Docklands, basically.
We'd get it based on
being on a
cruise
river.
Terminal.
Ah, okay. So that's how we'd qualify.
And a ferry pontoon.
Fair enough.
Do you know what I mean?
And we always
we don't need that. Or you could literally say the Whittle was a pier.
James,
it juts out.
You know the way, like, I love you and I defend you to the hilt. This season's the 25-26 season. It's not 24-25, my friend.
Feels like you're having a bit of a slow start to your day, James.
Well, but just a quick edit to that. A little edit to that,
maybe
James.
That's what it is.
A little edit to that.
But also maybe Baz didn't need to bring that up in public.
No, it did, because it was pointed out to me.
I feel like
you've got the wrong... No, you've got... People have put... You've got the wrong season, boys, on the thing. So
as people have pointed out, we've got the pier head. So we've got the head of the piers.
Maybe.
We've got the head of the piers. Yeah. He's the leader. He's the fella who sits at the top going,
fair play.
Lads, sort your candy floss machines out.
Bain says Crystal Palace has a literal dinosaur park. I think that beats a pier.
Does it though? Hang on. Whoa. Number one, where is the dinosaur park? What's in the dinosaur park? And does it really beat a pier? Now, I was on a pier the other day, and I must admit it was full of dinosaurs. But does a dinosaur park really beat a pier? Listen, if it was Jurassic Park, then yeah, I'd give you that. That's yours. You can take that home with you. No expense was spared. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think piers are the future of Victorian times.
Okay, let's move back from piers and dinosaur parks and qualification. And that. Brighton and Hove Albion, the first opponents at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. What do you make of that one? And this is a more of an interesting question, in my opinion, and it probably isn't. Do you expect that fixture to be moved? Because it's currently penciled in for Saturday the 23rd at 3 o'clock.
As long as it's not moved to half 12 kickoff, then yeah, move it.
5:30, maybe on the Saturday, the evening one, or Sunday at 4:30.
No, there'll be a reason, won't there? There's a festival going on, which I've seen people flapping about. Wait till people find out that there's a festival going on and it'll be even harder to get there. Shut up. Stop making issues.
It'll be the Monday's the bank holiday, isn't it? The 25th.
So the Sunday. Put on the Sunday. Put it like a 2 o'clock kickoff on the Sunday.
Why is that better than 12 on the Saturday then?
Because 12 games on Saturday.
I love the
It's not showing off the stadium in its best light.
2 o'clock on a Sunday isn't either.
4 o'clock? We'd be the 4 o'clock game.
It'll be half 4.
There's no games the week after. No one cares.
4:30. Fair play. Fair play. Yeah, I think it'll be. It'll go to the 4:30 game on the Sunday. I'm alright with 12:30 on the Saturday if they really want to do it. But 4:30 on the Sunday, I think it may well go to. Graham Hedworth, who is a Forest fan, says Hill Dickinson sounds like a personal injury lawyers. Well, it is a law firm, and it's a law firm in Liverpool, but it's now got 11 international offices around the world, Graham. So very much a local firm with links to Everton forever, ever and ever. So you were almost right, but it is a law firm. Toffee Blue, and you're correct here, says Conway Pier, great for crabbing. And it is. See loads of people with dropping the lines down there in the buckets. Conway Pier.
Where's Conway Pier?
Well, Conway, isn't it? It's the harbour, really, isn't it?
It's not a pier.
But it's a harbour.
It's got the smallest house in the world.
It has got the smallest house. Well, not in the world, but in the... What were your popsy visits like?
Only went one. Oh, I got like a butty the first time.
Literally sent me 2 pictures.
Yeah, I got a butty the first time, and then the second time I got like a custard slice. Tremendous.
Big time custard slices.
Yeah, that's why I got it. It's the only thing you should be eating in that place. It's amazing. I mean, you should eat everything like that.
Yeah, of course you should. Simon says, I see we play Sunderland on Bradley Lowry's birthday.
Oh, that's a nice touch. It's a nice touch.
Philip says, nailed on 12:30 kickoff on the Saturday for the Brighton game. Okay, there you go. Danny Bryan says, hope the Man City away is 12:30 on the Saturday, then I can watch it in the New York Supporters Club.
That just feels like really selfish. It feels really selfish.
But that'd be 7:30 in the morning. Is that what you want to do? Get to there at 7:30 in the morning to watch it?
Yeah, surely it would be better if it was the 5:30 kickoff. It'd be 5:30 kickoff would be better for you, wouldn't it?
Although
I don't think he thought this through.
No, he might have thought it through, because you know what he might be thinking.
He's thinking that we're playing at 5:30 and it's 12:30 in America.
Or if he's thinking it's the 12:30 kickoff, right? He might be thinking, do 7:30 in the morning, go and watch Everton. It's done by 9:30. Sightsee for the rest of the day. That's what he might be thinking. That's a long day. New York, you need a level of concentration that I don't believe getting up that early in the morning is conducive to. I've got some news for you. We will have to do like live shows at 8 a.m. No, because I'm going for a run at that time in the morning. Well, I'm literally going. It's set up. I'll be in the park. Me and John will do it. I'll be in the park. I'll be sightseeing for the rest of the day. Graham says Conway also has a castle. We went on multiple school trips and one lad. Okay. I didn't think it was going to carry on to that level, so we'll leave that one. So yeah, and then Everton's final home game is Sunderland at home, isn't it? In May, the 17th of May. It's in for at the moment. So yeah. No Boxing Day. No. Which is an interesting one. No. And the two derbies, 20th of April, 20th of September, 18th of April. So around my wedding anniversary and my birthday. Nice one, Premier League. The Christmas fixtures are getting I think they're starting to sort of
make them a little bit less congested, aren't they? Because we play on the 20th, it's a normal Saturday, then we play the following Saturday, 27th, then we play on the Tuesday, then we play on the Saturday, then we play on the Wednesday. So it's not where it used to be like you felt like you were playing every other day. Over Christmas, it's just like a couple of midweek games now, isn't it? So, and then there's no New Year's Day game, which is just glorious.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I don't know why anyone ever would want to play on New Year's Day.
But ever want to play on New Year's Day?
It's just horrendous. Just horrendous. So we're playing on the 3rd, and then we play on the 7th, so...
In the FA Cup.
And then the FA Cup is on the weekend.
Oh, so the thing, yeah.
We play Wolves on midweek at home.
Yeah.
7th of January. But people are worried about the games in January, aren't they, because of the AFCON?
That's what a squad's for. Isn't it? It's literally what a squad's for.
Apparently, Gay and Dye could miss 7 games if they went all the way.
Yeah.
What's the thing of it?
That's life.
Yeah. Salah could miss 7 games. You have to have a squad, don't you?
It's 31 other. It's 31 other games for them to play. Gareth says only 2 Sunday games so far. What do you think about that, Baz? Do you prefer a Sunday game to a Saturday? No. 12:30 on a Saturday, mate. I'm all day with. It's out the way.
But I don't want it to be out the way, though. Don't you not want this attitude of being out the way should be like getting rid of? It should be.
Should
be. No.
It
should
you can't tell me how I feel.
You shouldn't be wanting games.
Why would anyone want a game on a Sunday?
But why would you?
Why?
But why do you want games to be out the way?
Yeah,
Let's start enjoying games of football.
Mate. I've got a life. I go to match, and then I go home and I get on with my day. I hate half-5 games, and I hate Sunday games at half. I don't know why anyone ever wants Everton to play football on a Sunday. The only way you should ever play on a Sunday is because you've got European commitments, and that you've been forced to play on the Sunday. I hate waiting for games. I hate night games. And you're waiting all day for it. Oh, that's a chore. Waiting all day for a game. I don't know, maybe I'll go to Hill Dickinson and my mind will be blown. And I'll be like, oh, it's great. This is amazing.
I think your approach to games of football have been destroyed.
Well, Sean Dyche will do that for you.
Well, it's before.
And it was probably a bit before that as well. Big machinery and having to watch.
Why can't we just have Saturday 3 o'clock games where we just enjoy going to the match?
Just watch Saturday at 3. I'm sure it'll be better at the Hill Dicky. Graham says 3 o'clock Saturday, the only thing for it. Yeah. 3 o'clock, like it used to be. But Sky won't do that. Are you worried with the thing? Yeah, I'm going full Everton Dan, but it's not as bad as going full Everton lid. Trust me. Are you worried with Everton transfer targets being African players because of the AFCON? Because there is some really good players, but I know that, like when me and James have done some of the transfer targets Everton could be going after, they were good players. People are like, no, they'll be missing for the AFCON, don't buy them. It's like, yeah, but they might miss 3 games. So for 35 other games, we'd have them. And then we would, and then next season we'd have them all season, and then the season after, we'd lose. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
I don't think you can miss out on players on the fear of what happens in an African nations.
Yeah,
I think that's just what it is, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a thingy, isn't it? Because like obviously Everton been linked with Habib Diarra again very loosely today because I think he's just. Strasbourg owner said yesterday he can go, didn't he? Said he made him a promise that he could, if he signed a new deal last year and stayed, he could go this summer.
Leeds bid like 18 million or something for him.
But apparently he doesn't want to go to Leeds. Yeah. That's the stuff coming out of France. Like he's not interested in Leeds. Now, that might change if Leeds are the only ones going for him and they offer him money because, like I've said before, we get loads of players will go anywhere for money. Hence why they all get off to Saudi. They'll go anywhere. So when people go, we couldn't get a player like that out of Germany or something. You can if you pay the right money. It's whether you want to pay the right money for players, isn't it? But Diarra is one who would improve. I think he would improve Everton, and I think he's someone you'd make money on as well. But again, he'd go off to the African nations. So it's like do we stay away from them? Well, I would not go. I'd go and get 3 or 4. And if they end up 5, 6 players go off to the AFCON in January, so be it. That's what your squad's for, isn't it? That's what your whole squad's for. So those players you could not have an AFCON and lose 5, 6 players to injury like we did last season anyway. So I'd rather have these players available for most of our games than to not have them at all. You know, if you go and get Sean Longstaff, he's not going to AFCON, he's not going any World Cup, he's not doing anything. So you be there for you every week. Or give me Habib Diarra, who's got a higher, my opinion, higher potential, higher ceiling, but might disappear for a month in January. I'm having Diarra all day long. All day long.
I'm not trying to disagree with you though, but do you not feel like there's a worry at signing too many African players for you would lose half your squad?
No, because it wouldn't. Half the squad would be 13 players. We're not signing 13 African players, are we? But
no, but like, I mean, like
4 or 5, I'd have no problem with, mate, because it's about quality of player, isn't it? If you've got a player there that is, you're looking and going, we can get him and he makes us well better and we could make money on him, but we'll lose him for a month. We might lose him for 6 games, say, but he's available for the other 32.
Yeah.
We're not going to buy him because we're losing him for 6 games. And then you're letting maybe a competitor go and buy him. That to me is false economy. Go and get someone who's available all season, who's not at the level of this other player you could get, but you might be without him for a month. Because who currently, Everton, like Beto, Guinea-Bissau, I don't think have qualified.
That's a chance on it.
Right, so we're not losing Beto. So currently, is it Garner and Jai? They're the only 2 we're losing.
Yeah.
Out the squad. I can't think of anyone else right now.
Yeah. So
we'd lose 2. So if Everton went and bought another 2 African players, we'd lose 4. But we should have. Everton should be able to cope without 4 players in a 25-man squad. Because you've got people like James Garner, you've got people like Dwight McNeil, you've got people, you know, them kind of players.
How many did we lose in? Remember when Yak scored the goal against Chelsea, and then
he got off Pinar and Yakubu, but they were like we had nobody else, did we? They were like vital to us.
And Achabi and Yobo as well.
Yeah, they all went, all 4 went. But Liverpool the other year lost. Remember when they lost Mane, Salah, Matip, Keita, and they actually didn't win a game, I don't think, while they were all away for a few weeks. But they're probably not bothered about Mo Salah going, are they? Because they just think, well, we've got him.
I mean, they probably are. But...
No, you know what I mean. But what I mean is they didn't go, but we're not giving Salah a new contract.
But they've got him for the other 8 months of the season. So
that's it, isn't it? So that's what, you know. I understand people who were worried about it, but I wouldn't, me personally, I wouldn't be turning my nose up at it because I think, oh, we're not going to have him. You know, we'll see.
See what happens.
Where am I here? Mark Mack says Everton are unbeaten in the last 5 away games against Leeds United. Took us 51 years to win there, didn't it? So Wazza scored. Where am I? Gladdy, the Gladiator. All right, fellas, listening in Bali. Was meant to be on a plane home to Perth, but flight got delayed 5 hours. Everton daily and a few extra beers up the top.
There you go.
It's right,
I
mate.
think
Straight journey home and enjoy your beers.
Life.
Graham said, had a feeling it'd be Leeds' first game, but wasn't sure it'd be at their gaff. Hope we stuffed them. Okay. Mark says, first home game, 6-0 win. And the headlines is Everton Dick in Seagulls.
Okay.
Adam says, never mind the fixtures, when are we signing someone?
July.
Yeah. Do you think anyone will be July 1st?
12 of them lined up like that. Moyes just looking down them. Like that.
Looking for the Belfield 3.
Yeah.
Putting
just
a false 3 up.
All these plays. He's got 6 on each arm. It's going to be a beautiful moment. Be a beautiful moment.
I was talking to Joe yesterday from the Redmen, and he was like, They're supposed to be like announcing where it's this week, aren't they? And then Kirk has 2 days later or something, and he went, then that's it, they're done.
See, I got told differently though by a different member of said troop.
Okay.
I got told that they weren't done, and there was still plenty of money, and they were talking about Isaac, and I was like, why are you talking about Isaac?
No,
I said,
it's
I was like, you might have money. I said, but you haven't got that kind of money. I said, you haven't got 170.
They haven't got 300.
I'm not going to start talking about them in that. I don't know what they've got and they haven't got. But I was like, you aren't getting in for less than 175 million quid. So you've just bought that fella. You've just put the marker out now.
That's it.
I said, so I'd be like, but, and to be fair, it was a member of them that who is a very down-to-earth member of said Men of Redness. It wasn't like one of the jokers. And he was like, no, apparently we've got more money to spend. I was like, yeah, but you have not got Isaac money.
They're only getting money if they start selling.
No, it's just, I think that's what he said. They were saying that's where the money's going to come from. Because I was like, you are going to sell, like, Ben Doak's going to go for it.
Diaz is going, he's already said.
Well, yeah, we
Can't wait to go.
He is. You know he is.
So, Paul Cattle says, afternoon, lads and fellow Blues. Brighton, our first home game. Good opponent, tough one, but we can win. Interesting weekend for the transport, with it being the Beatles Festival all week. Can't wait to see some movements in and out at Everton this summer. Who do you think Moyes is watching over in the Club World Cup?
He's just on holiday, isn't he?
So just taking a game in while he's on holiday. Maybe. He's at, what was he at? Boca Benfica game, wasn't it? I think. Which kicked off.
Yeah, it did. It was just
kicked off. I probably maybe bear another one. I don't know. Moyes does love the States.
There was 12 people at one of the games last night.
No, how many were there?
Probably 1,000, maybe. I don't know.
1,000?
It was Ulsan versus Sundowns. It was in Orlando, and there might have been. They said it was delayed for lightning, but I think it was delayed to grab people off the streets.
Okay.
It was delayed.
Maybe it was at Orlando's ground.
Yeah, it was like an hour late because of thunderstorms. But it was like a couple of thousand there.
Because the tickets are scandalous, that's why.
The whole thing is ridiculous.
Eddie says the start of the season can go either really well or can be very Everton-like, and we look terrible. Royal Blue Rich says, hasn't it always been, if you start away, you finish your own? It used to be.
Hasn't it always been that? But I wonder what made that change. I wonder whose phone call got into the ear of people. I mean, we put it on first game this season, we can walk around with the trophy. Last game this season, we'll win another trophy. That's exactly how they all talk.
Fair play.
Over there.
Fair play.
Over there, it's something, I don't know what it is. Something to do with the dust of knocking down public houses.
Nah.
Gets on your lungs.
Well, maybe at the steer. Alex says, afternoon, lads, he dropped 7 points against the promoted relegated teams last season. In my book, we shouldn't drop any. No better place to start than destroying Leeds in front of the TV cameras. For me, 55 to 60 points is achievable this season, and getting those 7 points back would have took us to 55 last season. Yeah. We have been a bit rubbish against promoted teams.
We've been better, though. Recently, we were terrible.
You're relegated and we couldn't beat them. I don't know. Terrible. They're the games where Southampton went down.
Yeah.
They won about 3 games and we were one of them. So we have been a bit rubbish, but we've got to start getting back to just destroying these teams. Finn says definitely setting us up first game. Mark says nice run of fixtures in January.
Great.
Villa, Leeds, Brighton. Brentford, Wolves at home, Leeds at home. Yeah, it should be 9 points. Villa away tough, Brighton away tough.
Also, that no one's brought up the first game of the season is the Jack Harrison effect. Will Jack Harrison
be New York? Paul Robinson's trying to make us feel good, says frantically trying to reschedule flights to Gran Canaria. In her infinite wisdom, Mrs. R has booked a holiday flying out the 23rd of August and has spent the last 3 months with her fingers crossed.
Why would anyone do that, though?
Paul.
Why would you even take that chance?
Because that might be the only time he can go.
Don't go on holiday then. If it really means that much to you. There's an international break in September.
We might have kids.
Leave the kids at home with them. Isn't that what grandparents are for? I always thought that's what...
You don't leave your kids at home.
You never been on holiday without your kids?
Never.
Never, no.
Never, ever.
Mustafa. bad grandparents.
I've got no. Obviously, I have.
Why have you never been on holiday?
I've
with, like,
never
your
been
kids?
without the kids when they've been young. Like Jack's under 6, they've never been without.
Yeah, I suppose you had that gap,
There's
didn't
a
you? So it's
crossover.
like,
Amy and Matthew. Yeah, we've been without Amy and Matthew, but we've had Zach.
yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. There's the gap,
Yeah, the
isn't it?
gap.
That's.
Yeah.
No, but like, I didn't even get like. Couldn't you have had like Zach when I'm saying like Zach could have been like 10? You could have just gone for a nice little.
I like the idea of it, but I also don't.
Okay, it's fair enough.
In a couple of years when he's
No,
60,
no,
yeah, I know
but
what I mean, but no, I get it. Sometimes when we've been, I've been like, it's just us two.
Exactly.
Because
That was in Florida.
hard work, you're in Florida, yeah. And right, it was just easy. You know what? Trying to plan it for everyone.
Mate, being in Florida when there's just two of you is just the best experience
Is
in the
it?
world.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's amazing. You don't have to look round to see
No,
where anyone
that's the
else is and
problem.
all that.
I love it. And it's amazing when there's a gang here, but it's also like, oh my God.
That's
I want to go there. No, we want to do that, yeah, but let's go. No, because we
Blaine's living the dream as we speak.
He's not, though, because my kids are fuming.
He's got your kids.
No, they'd be happy if he did, because they'd be over there. Absolutely fuming. Because he isn't a theme park. They're like, he can get in his car and be at a theme park in 10 minutes.
But he doesn't want to go to a theme park.
I know, but
I mean, they did inquire about Epic and then told us what the price was, and it was like,
it was always going to be that.
but like,
What he really should have done was plan ahead.
he's there he's literally there for 5 weeks. He can't be a theme park every day.
No, but the chances are he'll come back without going to one.
That's fair enough,
And they
that's fair
think
enough,
that's
that's-
criminal.
He's also a man of a certain age.
Doesn't
He
matter.
Just wants to relax. He just wants to relax. He's going to Washington.
5 weeks is
He's
long.
been to a theme park and he took his grandkids.
I don't think he did.
He did. He went to Disney. He told me. Sent me
told me,
pictures. He
haven't
said,
he?
"Don't tell Baz. Baz will
Oh,
get
that
that
must
jealous."
have been. Maybe because he
He said that
He should
we've
be
gone with
there
something.
all the time.
Yeah, what was weird was Zach was on one of the pictures.
Zach was just there. He'd gone, totally disappeared for 3 days. Ian says, nothing to worry about. We'll stuff them anyway and put them on their first game way back to the championship. Benjamin says, I just hope everyone doesn't let a bit of sun affect them like it did last week regarding Jack Grealish. If we get him, great. He'll definitely improve our team and we'll want to get into the World Cup squad, but he can only do that if he plays well. Surely it's a win-win. Great videos on the players. Cheers, Benjamin. Jess this afternoon, y'all. There you go. Just a big shout out to all the parents out there whose kids have finished their GCSEs today and feel a bit weird. At least we have some fixtures to think about and avoid having a breakdown. Lol. Yeah.
Sorry.
Would love.
This isn't loose women. What are you on about?
It's okay.
It's not.
Hey,
What, does this just become this morning? So Andy Peters going to walk in and do a little section on
weight
how
training.
to cope with your kids have now finished school.
yeah, but he might do that while he's doing one-armed press-ups.
Been sacked.
Andy Peters.
Yeah.
Why for just being too much weight?
Only one. They said only one arm's got bulk on it. We don't like it. It's weird.
Jason says a lesson in how we've become conditioned. First thing, look at the running and thought we need to be safe by April. Then remembered it's 2025 and in Moyes we trust. Ian the Blue says poor old Burnley have well and truly been shafted. If they got like the top 6 in the open.
No idea. I barely looked at our fixture.
Yeah.
Never mind anyone else's.
I know Leeds have got us, then they've got like the top 5 basically. So
So they got the top 6.
the top 6 with us. So the end of October they're down. But it's all good. It's all good. I don't know. I haven't seen what Burnley have got. David Eo says we'll carry on with our good away record under Moyes. Let's be having you this afternoon, lads. Do you think our first and last games are both away because the club requested the first game to be away? No, because it'd be easy just to put us at home. I think they just like putting Liverpool at home the last day. They've done it for ages in the hope they had trophies, and this year they had it. Bill says mixed start. Also very odd. We're away first and last game. Not the easiest first game at Bramley Moor. We need to strengthen the squad. Yeah. Brian says, how about unbeaten until Man City away, and it's about time he won there too. Why not? Brian also says we have the Pierhead, yeah, from before. Josh said, yeah, we play Sunderland at home on a day of Bradley Lowry's birthday. The last home game, isn't it? Yeah. Bappy says we don't need a pier. We've got Rupert's Tower. Okay. We've also got a bar in the new ground called the Prince Rupert, haven't we? Posh Matty says, been looking forward to the fixture release. The family are in France without me 30th of August, so wanted to see a game I can sneak off to.
See.
Looks like I'm going to Wolves away.
See,
Fair play, Matt.
left his family out on holiday. What a man. What a man.
No, David, I disagree. 12:30 games shouldn't be banned. 4:30 on a Sunday should be outlawed. John says, any thoughts on Nick Cox coming in from United? Yeah, he's very highly rated. Part of the recruitment team that Angus Kinnear is putting together. So, yeah, fair play to him. Sasquatch is a blue. Says, all right, lads, bit strange that we're first and last games are away. Yeah, I just think they probably don't care about us, so they do whatever they want. Others ask for stuff and they go, yeah, you can have it. Liverpool, yeah, let's make sure you're at home. Everton, no, I'm not bothered. Michael Kearney says, just got my book Onward by Brian Sale Photography, and it's a banger. Taking an Evertonian lifetime and putting in the context of last season at Goodison Park. No, not yet, Bappy, but we'll sort. Aussie Dad says, all right, lads from Brisbane, who do you bring in on loan? I can see Moyes doing a bit of that again. Don't know, it just depends who's available. It's just who's, I don't know. Someone like Grealish, maybe. I don't know, though, because it depends. He might want to go up, but I don't know, whoever stumps the money up. But I think we'll bring a few in on loan because that'll be the way to pad the squad out. And then we'll get a couple of loans from Europe, I think.
I think it's, with the lateness of like everything coming together, and obviously bringing people in, and they're both on gardening leave, aren't they, as well? I mean, I don't know what that actually means. Just can't be seen in the office.
Can't be seen, but we'll still be working, yeah.
Then I feel like we're getting off to a bit of a late start, which isn't great. Which makes me feel in many ways like this summer might actually just be a little bit more short term. I mean, don't get me wrong, there'll be purchases.
I don't think you can do that though, can you?
No, what I mean by that is there'll be purchases, of course, but I do think there'll be an emphasis on free transfers and loan deals to patch up the squad with more of a longer term thinking going into next summer, where actually you can put down the ideas into the club and how you're going to recruit players, and how you're going to recruit players not just based on a player out there looking good. Actually have a structure of how you're recruiting players, and that we just mightn't be ready for this summer in terms of how we do that. So I can see a situation where that's why we will go for a Kyle Walker, because he will be a year, and during that year we're looking at that long-term replacement for a right back. And it might be the same situation in a couple of other positions. Doesn't mean we won't buy off the look of someone like a Barry. But it feels like we're a little bit late in putting the backroom, or sorry, the recruitment team together. Just seems a little bit late. And it'll be more off just Moyes' eye this summer, which, as I said, could be loans and 1 year deals. And that could play into why Carlos Alcaraz only got like the 2 year deal. Is falling into the same thing?
Yeah. Ben, no, they don't have. And even if they did, I still want my kids to go on holiday with me, mate. To be honest. Where are we? Graham Rogers says next backroom appointments better be contract Dave. Yeah, definitely they should be. They should be. Gavin says Habib Diarra will be playing against us for Leeds. Have they agreed anything? The latest stuff coming out of France was he doesn't want to go to Leeds, so who knows? Who knows? Rob says there were 3,412 people at the Club World Cup game last night.
That's what it was.
It's a disgrace. Robert says at least this random selection hasn't led to us having a long, hard stretch like the last few seasons yet. Aussie Daz says any truth in the rumour whoever loses between us and Leeds has to keep Jack Harrison. Thomas says, Baz, you're right, we're all grown up now. And Dad always says holidays away with us kids, the best memories. They are, of course they are. Going with your family is nothing better. It's nothing better, mate. David says it's 8:45 a.m. and it's 89 degrees in Florida already.
Nice.
He says suffering. Kev Maloney says, I love the 7:30 a.m. kickoffs here in Canada. If we win, it's a spring in my step all day. Or if we lose, I have the rest of the day to get stuff done. Yeah. Jay says, we've got to play everyone at some point, but I'm going for 9 points from the first 3 games.
Nice. Confident.
Be lovely, wouldn't it? What a lovely start that would be. Paul Williams says, to be fair, Ped thought Jack Harrison, when the fixtures came out, he'd be on for goal, no one got look. For a goal, no one got look. Maybe. Yeah. Who knows what happened with Jack? Been training with Oral Mangala, hasn't he? So maybe he's going to Leon. Who knows? Alex up the Trophies says he could see us doing a bit of business with Villa again, like Onana Dobbins helped them with their PSR. Do any of their players tickle your fancy? Rodgers, please. Or Jacob Ramsey. He's sort of fallen out a little bit there. Think he'd be excellent. I don't know whether you'd have that kind of the money that they'd want or need. I have no idea. Have no idea. Dean Fox says, why does nobody want Kyle Walker? He'd improve us massively. Don't know. We'll see, won't we? Liam says, does the crowds at the FIFA World Club Cup show football as a saturation point, or do you think it's more to do with the location?
It's both. It's both, isn't it? It's both. It's a tournament no one wants or asks for. It's Infantino basically trying to one up UEFA. He doesn't like the fact that UEFA has the biggest tournament, being the Champions League. He doesn't like that, so he started to create a tournament which no one cares about. The European teams so far in it have, well, there's a very much a pre-season vibe about it. The heat is... See, this is what I don't get about it, right? The games are in America, but they're put on for European kickoff times. So they're playing, like, so Sunday they played at noon in LA, which is just in the Rose Bowl, which is open. No roof, no shadows,
Why
no
can't
nothing.
they play at that other one with the roof on it?
Well, they played at Atlanta last night. Chelsea played. Chelsea played Atlanta. That wasn't, it was no...
Reckon that grass will be left for us?
Might be, yeah. But it was because it might be because the NFL doesn't start till... The place was nowhere near full Atlanta. Nowhere's been really full. The only ones who seem to be taking it really serious is the South American teams, which is fair enough because I think, for them it's a big thing, isn't it?
Well, that game in Miami, the Boca fans were buzzing.
Yeah, so the South American teams have gone really strong with the fan bases and stuff. But the ticket... I was looking last night because I was talking to John about the ones in Orlando, and even for like the game last night, they weren't cheap. Like,
we're like $30 and sell the place out.
And then John was saying, like, I said to him, like, City were playing Juve next week, and he was like, they're at $100 because obviously it's 2 European teams. But at the end of the day, it's a tournament no one asked for. It's at a terrible time. The kickoff times. I mean, let's be honest, right? The kickoff times yesterday, it's a work day, and the kickoff times are like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock. It's a work day, for God's sake.
It's crazy.
It's absolutely crackers. And you're putting. If you're gonna do it, go all in. Go all in and go. No, it's in America, and we're gonna have kickoffs that suit Americans. If you don't like that, Europe doesn't like that. Tough. This is for the world.
Yeah.
But they haven't. They've gone for Europe, and it's just. I don't know whether it's gonna sort of, once we get rid of like the poorer teams, but I just don't think the European teams are going to take it that seriously. They just don't seem to have any like gas in the tank.
It's rubbish.
Yeah. So
the prices are but the prices for the summer series where we're going are a disgrace. And they try to dress it up and go, yeah, but you're getting 2 games. It's a disgrace.
Yeah, it's all a disgrace.
I don't care about Man United and Bournemouth after watching Everton and West Ham. Some might, but I don't. I'm sure lots of United fans don't care about Everton and West Ham before they play.
No.
The prices are a disgrace.
But there's other elements to it as well, which are really scary. Like they've stopped all their like things, haven't they? There was all the anti-racism slogans and all that. They've stopped all that from being shown. It's like, what are we doing? You've got a platform there to literally, they're supposed to be non-political, but I was just saying that racism is bad and like, you know, peace is good. When did they become bad concepts? Like that's so weird. Surely something like FIFA with a tournament like this should be pushing the notion of anti-racism, anti-discrimination, and can we all fucking chill out, please? Rather than going, oh no, we can't because we're not allowed to say anything in this. And also the other thing about the tournament is, which hasn't been really spoke about, is, and this is a political thing, is at the games, obviously the ICE officials are there, so people have got fears of going the game, and when we're going on games in America, it would obviously be different for us because of the way we look. But we've been basically been told we've got to have our IDs on us because we could be pulled by the ball, you know, the ICE. So if you're an Evertonian and you're travelling over there and you're not white, you got to be careful. And that's a real thing, by the way. That's not shit there and that. That's a real thing. You've got to have your ID in your pocket because they're going to the games and they're looking at people and going, "Where are you from?" And because I know people are coming from around the world. So how's this going to affect the World Cup in 12 months' time, which is the staple of football, which is the number one thing, the thing that we all look to? You're going to get people going from countries all over the world, and suddenly they've got to be slightly fearful that the wrong fella picks up on one of them and they haven't got their ID in the next minute they're in a cell. That's really worrying for this tournament, certainly. So, yeah.
Dylan the Blue says an article in the iNews said Everton are bringing in up to 10 players and business will get underway in the last week of June, first week in July. Yeah. Stuart says Burnley's first 6 fixtures: Tottenham away, Sunderland at home, United away, Liverpool at home, Forest at home, Man City away. They're gone. Fully shafted. David Murphy says, imagine if United are in a relegation battle. Their final 10 games, you can guarantee at least a dozen penalties. Jacob Lewis Warrington doesn't play for Everton anymore. Plays for Salford City.
Feel like Northern.
So whether he could break into Salford's team, that's on him this pre-season. Got to do well. Gavin says, I'm Canadian and was going to go to New Jersey for the game in America, but so many of us are turned away at the border. It's not worth the risk buying tickets and not getting in the country. Mad. Quaker J. However it is. Says, as an American, I fully expect the World Cup to be pulled from us.
No, it won't be. It won't be. There's no issue on that. All what'll happen is, and it's already happened, is Infantino's already bent the knee. So there's no danger of that. There's no danger of that. But there were certain things that were said that weren't going to happen that have already changed about people, you know, different countries being allowed, their fans being allowed to come in, and now some of those countries are on the list that people can't come in. FIFA won't say anything. There's too much. FIFA make too much money in America. If Infantino had his way, and I genuinely believe this, every World Cup would go between 2 countries, and it would be America and Saudi, and that would be it. Because there's no politics now in those 2 countries. I know there is, but you know what I mean? He'd just go bum, 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 because he knows he can sell out America. Don't forget this tournament, by the way. PIF are basically paying for it. They've bought into the Zone, and the Zone paid $1 billion to get it. So the PIF have basically paid for this tournament, and America are holding it. So FIFA are quids in either way. It doesn't really. They're not asked with this fella. He does not care. He's worse than Blatter. This fella. He's worse than Blatter because he's become a political figure. He's aligned himself with certain people, and it's forget about all the political stuff. It's so detrimental to football, isn't it? Because players are going, oh God, I've got to play this amount of games, and then you go, oh yeah, lads, you got to play at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
in LA.
In the pure heat.
In the pure heat. That's so bad, that. And that's really bad for football. Like, really bad for football. And it's up to the people, other people in power in football to go, no, we're not having this.
Yeah, it's gotta be a change. SpongeBob has gifted
Well done, SpongeBob.
Toffee TV channel gift memberships. Thank you very much, mate. Yeah, listen, see what happens. In terms of the Everton stuff, Nick Cox, Manchester United, coming in, head of the academy director, but
so he's coming in as technical director.
He's coming in.
So I was asking before, like, what's the difference between that and a director of football? And it's
we're doing all the stuff Moyes doesn't want to do, essentially. Won't it, really?
Yeah. Which does, and again, I asked this question before, does that lead people to think that maybe Moyes isn't going to have as much power as we thought he was going to have? Is he going to allow someone else to have power, or is it going to be like this fella does the day job and then Moyes still has the final say? Or, it's...
I think the thing is, Moyes will be sort of like the main man, but I don't think the Friedkins are going to give him all of it. So Moyes hasn't said, go and get me Nick Cox from United, has he? The academy director, do you know what I mean? It's Everton. These will be the highest that can be.
As it should be.
So I think it'll be a little bit of both, but they're all, so far, it all seems good hires. I think Manchester United gave 27 debuts to academy players during his time as academy director.
He's a very well liked fellow, wasn't he? And he's got all his coaching badges as well. Maybe he could become the set piece coach on the slide. King Robbo, thanks for the super chat, mate. He
hasn't said anything. I think he said yo before, which is fine. He did say yo before, which is yo to you, King Robbo. Dylan says it'll be a transfer committee with Moyes having a good say.
Yeah.
And Daniel Barton says, might actually get a few youngsters to look forward to seeing coming out the academy. Yeah. Well, yeah, you've got to get the right people in, and then you've got to go after people. But he got, like, it's the one, Adebo, is it, from Arsenal, the one who scored all the goals. They went and got him. United, and he got 2 or 3 other ones who were good young players. So it's about knowing what's around, isn't it? Can you get them? We'll see.
But even if it just makes money.
Well, that's it. That's the fair. It's got to be self-sufficient, but it's got to be able to produce you players as well. Right. Thank you very much, everyone who's joined us. Like, subscribe, done all of that stuff. I'll just do one more refresh on Patreon Premier. Just to see if anyone said anything on there, but very warm today. But the fixtures are out. Nathan Garrett, he says, Brighton used to have 2 peers and 1 burnt down. That is correct, Nathan.
Maybe the other one got jealous.
No. Jez says, I think Ped would be amazing on Loose Women. Absolute scenes. Do you think you're the type of guest Loose Women would be looking for?
I don't know. I've never watched an episode of Loose Women. I've seen it on. I think
you'd be all right.
Seen it on, and I know it's just basically like 4 vipers going after men and stuff.
So I think you'd wind them up.
I'd like to think I could. I'd go on just for that. I'd go on just to wind people up.
Yeah.
Only if Stacey Solomon was on it though, because she's sound.
Okay.
She is sound, and she'd clean your house for you.
You'd hope.
No, I think she would. Even on, although she has. Yeah. She can't go on holiday without her kids. There's not a chance on earth. She's got enough grandparents to look after all those kids.
And Big Joe. And Rob D. Belfast says, I'd say Kyle Walker on a 1-year deal with the option for a 2nd year. Taking him for 1 year only doesn't work for me. Why? That's all right. We're going to go now. Because they're waiting for the day. But listen, fair enough. Let's see. Ian Murphy says, apparently the technical director is responsible for the long-term planning. Yeah, well, that's it. It's how much planning he can do. Dylan says, being massively impressed with the Friedkins headhunting the best execs in all departments.
Well, we'll see, won't we? I'm keeping my powder very dry on all this. I've had people on. You get people being very positive, and then you have people being very negative. You know who you are. The point being is, you just don't know. You don't know. It's like when you get a new manager in, you can't just sit there and go, he's crap, or he's amazing. You'd have to just sit there and go, let's see what happens.
My thing.
Yeah.
This year is, I don't know what these are going to do.
No, I don't.
Therefore, I can't go, well, this is typical Everton. No, and I've seen loads of them comments, you know, with Kyle Walker or classic Everton, this, we always do that. Yeah. I don't know. Because I've no idea what these people are like, other than go and let it play
that's what I was saying before.
I'll know in September, won't we?
That's what I was saying before about like the people that aren't really in the door yet. So it's hard to know if this summer's going to be like the way we do it things, or if this is a short term thing. Yeah. We won't know for a while. We won't know for like 2-3 years when down the line. You know, you could again. I know that we haven't appointed certain people, but that doesn't mean we're not going to appoint certain people. And also, we could have rushed in and appointed people and then gone, and then someone comes in and goes, I don't think these are good enough. Maybe we're taking our time with the confidence of knowing that the manager we've got has got a steer on things.
I'm a bit calmer with, because it's Moyes. And also because Moyes has been here since January. Do you know what I mean? It's not like we just got Moyes 3 weeks ago. And now he's coming in, I'd be worried then going, oh my God, but he's had all of that time and he's sort of known what he wants. And
also on a player point of view, we need players. Like
we do.
We don't have enough players to fill a squad, to fill a bench. We'd have 7 goalies on a bench and we haven't even got 7 goalies.
I don't, this thing of like, I know a lot of, and again, I wouldn't tell people out, I think, the Kyle Walker stuff. It's like, well, you know what, if David Moyes decides he wants Kyle Walker, then let's just see what happens. That's all we can do. You might go, well, I don't really agree. But Kyle Walker might come and be brilliant for Everton. He might come in and not be.
Everton might have looked around and gone, right now, we don't see a right back that we are willing to pay X amount of money for, or we haven't done our work on him, or whatever. But next year, we've got our eye on someone. We're just going to see how it plays out. And for this year, we feel like we can get through the year with Jake O'Brien and let's say it's Kyle Walker, and we feel like we can get through the season with them, and then during the season we're keeping an eye on this player, and we'll see what happens with that player. That's what might be happening. I don't know.
But if David Moyes, he's someone who does look into people's background, character, and all that. If he thinks Kyle Walker's the right person to have in the squad, got to trust him, haven't we?
And I'm sure there are positions that we need to fill that we haven't filled yet, but that might just be because we're trying to get the right person, or they're already at a football club and we want them. And as we've showed so far, we've gone into clubs and got people. Now, again, the people we've got, I have no idea where they're the best of the best of the best. No. But also, we ain't going into certain clubs and grabbing their people, you know. And of course, other clubs will be better than us because they've been doing it for a while and they know exactly what they do, and all they do is swap one fella out for another fella. Unfortunately with Everton, this has been a case for the last few seasons where it seems like we're starting again every single year. Well, let's hope this is the last time we start all over again and we get the things behind the scenes in place and we can move.
But we are starting again because we're starting again with new owners. So, but you've got to have, there's always got to be a place, as John Blaine would say, a place called Start, and that's where we sort of are.
Is that like a town called Malice?
Yeah. DJ Dan Mercury says, Ped, before you go, I wasn't having a pop with you, I was just pointing something out.
No, you were. You do it every day, mate.
Dave Murphy said, Liam, he would. Dave Murphy says, thanks for your efforts, fellas. Another bit of banging content. I'm sure Mrs. Ped wouldn't let him near loose women.
Why? Why?
I don't know.
It's only in the general sense, or just in a TV?
Emma says, we've got to trust the Spitfire people. I'm paraphrasing. We have to, Emma. People. And Dave Murphy's laughing at the phrase she used.
Has she used the phrase spit roast?
No, Spitfire. But she just put a bit.
She tends to say that quite a lot.
She just put a bit after it.
Okay, so she just tends to say that.
Royal Blue Jack says, I absolutely hate Leeds. Okay. Right. There you go. Beautiful people. Have a great afternoon. Enjoy the sun.
There's a huge Toffee TV announcement at 3 o'clock.
Toffee TV announcement.
Toffee TV announcement at 3 o'clock.
Right.
We are, as a channel, flying.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
I saw what you did.
See what I did there?
Saw what you did. Right. Take it easy. Thank you. Like, subscribe, do all that. Bye.
Is that button gonna